Hey guys, what's going on? So this is more a letter to Vespa, but I'd like to get everyone's thoughts on it as well. It's something I've been hoping for a long time now, and since I just raised several new heroes and many new pieces of gear, this idea was sort of brought to the front of my mind. The idea is gear sets. I'll explain the idea in more detail a little later, but first, I want to talk about why I feel this is needed. More than half of my active playing time on King's Raid is spent rearranging my hero's gear. I want the best for each different piece of content, and when you have 15 to 20 different heroes you use on a regular basis, switching gear can be a real pain in the ass. The heroes I use in Arena share gear with heroes I take in World Boss, but most of the heroes are different. Same goes for Guild Raid, Dragon Raid, Challenge Raids, etc. You might say, well, just raise more gear. The problem with that is that finding a perfect gear set for one hero is a feat in itself. Trying to do the same for 20 or more would take an incredible amount of time and resources, especially considering it would be essentially a waste of time and resources. I have one hero whose gear never changes. That's Philip. He's the only hero with really special gear, specially crafted just for him. He's a special case though, but that's not the point. The point is that with most other heroes, you need a mixture of crit rate, attack, and attack speed, with a line of lifesteal and a line or two of penetration. When you have this set, it can be placed on more than half of the heroes in King's Raid and they would perform just fine. So what's the point in farming more and more gear like this? So this is my problem. I can't justify the time and resources to deck everyone out like Philip because there's no point outside of convenience. And so here's my idea. There are several ways to implement this idea, but I'm going to start with the one I feel would be easy to implement and perhaps the best even. Much like Transcendence pages, we'd have pages of gear sets that you saved yourself. You'll essentially take a snapshot of what your hero is wearing and can re-equip it when the need arises. If someone else is wearing the gear in the snapshot you select, it would force it off of them. If that's too complex, it just wouldn't equip any gear that's in use by someone else. I wouldn't mind unequipping everything from everyone if this system were in place. I've actually already done that several times out of frustration because I couldn't find that pair of earrings with the crit enchant or the orb that has penetration instead of lifesteal, etc, etc. But now, instead of manually re-equipping everything and having to recheck every gear's substats for up to 12 heroes at a time, I could do it with a click or two each. So that's the first idea. The second idea would be way more convenient and perhaps even simpler. Instead of saving a per hero snapshot of their gear, you'd save everything on everyone. The plan would be to get your whole team set up for a piece of content, like let's say World Boss, choose which Transcendence page you'd need for each hero, and then save it. So the next day, when you're going for World Boss again, your whole team is set up with a click of a button. No worrying about who has what, or if one of your healers has the Goddess Blessing perk. The third way would be similar to the other two ways, but it's already somewhat implemented into the game. When you go to a certain piece of content, we'll say World Boss again, the last team you used is still pre-selected there. If that team also saved gear selections and Transcendence perk pages, it would be a huge step in the right direction as well. I really do like playing the different pieces of content King's Raid has to offer, but every time I go to do it, I'm met first with an internal sigh, knowing I have to first spend 5 to 10 minutes checking everyone's gear and Transcendence perks, and doing it several more times throughout the day for every other piece of content. But yeah, that's pretty much it. On a side note, like most of you could probably tell, this video was scripted, because I wanted to keep it short and to the point, without too much rambling, so sorry if it sounded too obvious. Even this part about the apology is scripted. I have my doubts that this will reach Vespa's ears, but in the chance that it does, I want to first say thanks for the great game. This is just one suggestion to make it better. In my case, it would make it 1,000 times better. Maybe most others don't see it the way I do, but something even close to these suggestions would be night and day for me. Anyway, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you have any other suggestions you'd like to see implemented, I'd love to hear those too. Thanks guys, as always, for watching, and until next time.